Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna do a teardown and refurbish of this Logitech MX Masters mouse. So this is a first gen mouse and I got it cheap, and you can look at the condition. My goodness, there's some green algae on the scroll wheel, and the plastic parts, this is supposed to be the Windows button, have been disintegrated, and this roll wheel, yes. Okay, overall what I need importantly is the internal of the mouse, the PCB boards that are working. Then on eBay I managed to source this outer shell brand new. So let's get into it. So here we have the outer shell. You can see it doesn't come with the wheel. So the side wheel is installed already, and the plastic coverings. So later part in the video there are a ton of events that we need to do some changes to the setup. So first of all, right, you can see there's these two screws over here. These are Torx, a very small one. So during this teardown I was being tricked. So I thought all the 6 screws are Torx, but in fact the top 2, they are not concealed. These are Torx. The remaining are actually the Phillips one. So I have skipped a few steps, removing the feet of the mouse, removing some of the screws already. So for this part, always remember, if the top part of the mouse there's some buttons or additional wheel, right, be careful before ripping it out. Usually there will be 1 or 2 ribbon cables securing it. So on this case it's a U-clip. Just lift it up, then the ribbon will move off. So this time around we have a liberty of this shell replacement. So on the new one, right, the assembly is done for us. We just need to swap it over. So you can see this 1.5 speed faster. Let's match it out and see what we need to bring over. Basically just the ribbon cable extending from the top part to the lower part. So just making sure that the ribbon cable is fully inserted and secured, then it will be it. This is a quite straightforward procedure. So next we are going to dismantle the lower part of the mouse. So from the looks at it, we have the battery compartment to be removed first, then the main board and the sister board. So okay, after some examination, there's 3 screws over here that secures the battery compartment to the lower part. Let's do that first. But before that, I have removed the battery main cable to the board. Yeah. So in between of this video, I have managed to source the scroll wheel. I got it and I've replaced it out of the video. So far this scroll wheel quite interesting. It comes with motor, so when you press on the actuator button, right, you'll be it's mechanically activated to be free scrolling or with some feedback. So for this top part of the board, right, there's a couple of screws. We need to remove it, and as usual, Logitech have been kind by using quite the similar screws on this item, so you don't need to be very worried putting it the wrong screw back. After removing the 4 obvious screw holding the board, right, it should lift off easily. Hidden below, there's this ribbon cable. We just need to flip up the securing part, then it should come out easily. Next, we'll be moving on to the screw wheel. There's these two screws that with the plastic bracket that secures it down. So once it's off, just make sure, usually under the screw wheel there's this really tiny spring. Just be careful to remove it and put it somewhere safe, otherwise you'll be always on the floor and you will have hard time looking for it. This is just some word of advice. Removing the power from the screw wheel, then we'll be left with the main board to tackle with. So there will be a couple of screws remaining that secures the main board to the bottom of the case. We just remove it, then it should free everything. Yeah? So to this point, right, we came across this metal part that is embedded into the case, and with this red wire, I guess it might be a grounding or wire of such, but do correct me if I'm wrong. So for this part, we won't be able to remove, and upon further inspection, right, compared to the case that we have ordered, oh no, we have a situation here. So from here, you can see that the main board doesn't sit flush onto this shell. So we're in a bit of a situation. The sensor part, right, is a different shape. So guys, if you are doing a restoration of this mouse, make sure that you order the correct part. So from here, right, you see that I'm just temporarily cleaning up the wheel. So I had the replacement wheel coming in around 2 weeks later. So it cost me around $14 as the original part. Okay, cleaning the individual parts, right, I'll just spray contact cleaner on my brush and go through the different points. You can see here. Okay, I used to spray the contact cleaner directly on the board, but not now. Okay. So the change of plan now will be using back the old bottom part of the case, and we'll use the new top part of the case. So the bottom part, usually the damage will be on the mouse feet. We'll replace that, we have that. And the plastic part, the pin part, it looks pretty okay. Yep. So getting the brush into the very tight parts and using IPA to clean the edges as usual. Trying to make it as new as possible, even though after we close it up we won't be able to see the inside, but I would like to clean it up. So coming to our assembly, right, I would urge to remember putting it in the on off button. Then you can see from here, right, there's this red and green portion. So there's only one way to put it in. But before that, we'll be cleaning the dowel feet, removing all the gunk first. Do some testing first before we screw down the 4 screws. Here, right, there is a small slit that allows the wire to sit in without some pressure on it. So assembly will be the opposite way of the dismantling. So make sure that after you assemble that layer, make sure all the screws are in place. Then we'll move to the next layer. So before installing the scroll wheel, remember that you have a very small spring that you need to install before mounting it on. So for this teardown rack, I didn't bother to change the battery because before taking this video, right, I've charged this up and used it for a while. So the battery life for this is still quite new, but I believe that it's quite easy to find any replacement. So coming to the end, right, this is a quite tricky part because the ribbon cable is usually the length of it is just nice. You need to be quite tactful using both your hands to hold it and insert the ribbon, securing it down. Make sure it's fully inserted in and locked down. So what I'm doing here, I'll just putting 1 or 2 screws in, temporarily securing it. Then we'll test it on the computer, making sure all the functions, the left and right scroll up and down, the buttons are working before permanently so-called locking it down. So overall, I'm pretty happy with this build, and total it's cost me around $20 for the used mouse. For the housing, another $21, but in USD the screw wheel about $14. Total having this fun of tearing down and replacing it, it cost me around $60. It's way cheaper than buying a new one, but it's all the fun in doing it. If you have enjoyed the video, do click on the like button to be informed of more such videos. Please subscribe to the channel. Signing off, this is Restore Refurb Works.